Rajim, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Assalamu alaikum, Jiayanu, Pakhairagale, Nihao, Chunashumme, Washmale, Ohai Gazaimas, Guten Morgen, Ola, Boyo, Privyat, Kaifahal, Haleshova Chatore, Ahlan Musal, Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabia, Balli Kereaya, Hosh Galden and Iosayo, Huyamora, Chivatochi, Haljot, Kalimera, Kharotat. And a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning on a cold Monday morning over here in Islamabad. I happen to be Shahzad Hasan Khan, and with me, I'm very lucky that I've been joined by my very well-learned colleague who happens to be Ms. Hajra Satti. Hello Hajra, Assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much, Jazakallah Shahzad, for introducing me. I'm sorry. I think early in the morning there was some tongue twister, or my tongue got twisted. But Shahzad, I was going through very interesting research that came out, and a lot of international media covered it. And it was about that how some people have the tendency to wake up or rise up early in the morning.
Yeah, because of their DNA.
Yeah, and then they have inherited from a one particular category of human beings that they have defined it. But do you really, I mean, obviously there is a scientific legitimacy behind that research, but I think if you can work on your routine, you can always change that old habit of, waking up not really early in the morning and then getting, because they say early to bed, early to rise is the best way to live, and it's more close and harmonious with the nature. But what about you, Shahzad? Are you a morning person or you a night owl?
I mean, obviously, I'm a morning person and I love getting up in the mornings as well. And, you know, where you actually spoke about how, you know, it could be because of the genes that you carry or how your DNA is. So imagine that all of my life, alhamdulillah, I've bear witness to this, that my mother actually wakes up at 4 in the morning and she sleeps at 7 in the evening. You know, this is something which certainly wasn't really, you know, kind of the thing that we wanted to kind of enjoy of our mothers. Because imagine you're going to a wedding, 7 p.m. she's fast asleep, you know, that's it. And, you know, even if she kind of pushes herself, she's sleeping at the wedding, you know. So this is something which we have always grown up with. And now, alhamdulillah, I've seen my father kind of come into the same routine as well, where he's up before us and, you know, he sleeps, he's going early to bed as well. But while we are kind of talking about it, Haja, I would like to ask you over here, because imagine that I think it's been 3 years now, alhamdulillah, that you've been a part of the morning show yourself. I've been doing it for the last 10 years. It's been more than a decade now, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
It feels nicer to wake up, but do you think that, you know, that right at the beginning, there were a few challenges that you faced, ki yaar gone, you know, it's too cold, too long of a drive and whatnot. Did that ever occur to you?
Not exactly. Why? Because before coming into the morning show, I was doing the news and I used to get the morning shift, and I really loved and enjoyed the morning shift, which were really early in the morning, because
and it's
sometimes
quiet.
Yes, it's quiet, and sometimes I get to see the sunrise. Sometimes I get to offer my Fajr prayers here in the office, because especially in the winter, since the Fajr timings is synchronized in such a way that I have to come here in the office and offer my prayers here. So I've always been a morning person. I really enjoyed mornings. And where you mentioned about your mother, that how she wakes up early in the morning at 4 a.m., right, and sleeps at 7 p.m. So if you analyze our ancestors who were mostly engaged, because that was a more simpler era, that was a more quieter era, where people used to engage into the agriculture or fields, and where the urban life was not that fast paced. So you would analyze they had the same sleeping patterns, right? They used to wake up early in the morning, they used to go into their work, mostly in their fields or whatever they were doing, plowing, or maybe they're rearing up their animals, and then they would come back, and I think after offering the Maghrib prayers and Isha prayers, they would fall asleep, and then they would wake up again with the early sunrise.
Yeah, and one of the reasons for this was, okay, you know, there are a couple of interesting reasons. Number one, you know, back then there was no electricity, obviously, you know, so, you know, anything after Maghrib.
No mobile.
Yeah, no mobile, no nothing. And then there was a time when, unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, obviously the mankind didn't progress as much. There weren't any washrooms too as well. You know, so people had to wake up early in the morning to go to the fields, but now things have changed. But while you were speaking about our ancestors, there's one more thing which I would want to relate with that, and that is that, you know, it always, you know, gives nostalgia whenever I speak about, you know, all of those dramas that I've seen while growing up as well. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. You know, Pakistan television, you know, me and Hajra, and we have always spoken that, you know, has been an academy for all of those people, even today on private media or not. And, you know, it has actually kind of taught us so many beautiful things that we certainly can't undo that. And Pakistan television has been, you know, have had always a very holistic approach in making sure that, you know, okay, they should be programming for
Right,
kids, they
right.
should be programming for
True.
couples, they should be programming for policemen, you know,
Right.
people from all walks of life, and they would always educate with the kind of content they created.
And it has always nourished and polished the new talent, and especially talent that was hidden in the invisible places. And I think that is the credit that goes to the PTV. But we will talk more about it, obviously. But first, there are certain clips that we want you to analyze, because we are feeling really, really nostalgic, because we have just had a discussion. Welcome back, and before going on to the break, we talked about that how we are going to talk about a very interesting discussion that has been lined up, and obviously that relates to the overseas Pakistanis, because from Pakistan a lot of people migrate to different countries, and when they go abroad, especially, they are vulnerable to lots of abuses, especially through the migration that is happening through the human trafficking, and how those very innocent and naive Pakistanis are sometimes held hostage by the group of people who are exploiting them for their own usage, right? True. And how to tackle them, how to make sure that their rights are respected, and how state can protect them, because they are our asset abroad, and they contribute a lot in terms of the remittances. So our entire discussion will hinge around this entire theme, and we will explore lots of other sub-themes. So we are very glad, without any further ado, that we have been joined by two wonderful personalities. So Shahzad, why don't you take it?
Exactly. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're very lucky that we have been joined by the President OPGF Overseas Pakistanis Rights Foundation. Happens to be Mr. Shakil Sheikh. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Wonderful
you
to
for
have
having
you
us.
over here. And alongside him, we're very lucky that we have been joined by the legal advisor to OPGF, and he happens to be Mr. Shiraz Khan. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here. Shakil bhai, let's get the conversation started. Last time you were here, you spoke about all of those Pakistani unfortunate laborers who were actually imprisoned in Saudi back then as well, and then alhamdulillah you kind of contributed towards their release. You know, you were everywhere. You know, from there onwards, what is OPGF doing as of now, as of today?
Okay, thank you for having us,
Right.
PTV World,
It's an
having
honor.
us. And when I do the show here, I heard they listen all the way to top level. So that is the reason the Prime Minister last time, because of your show, you know, he listened to us. And then when the Prince Muhammad was here, and you know, he speak to him about prisoner for Saudi Arabia, and they got to leave. So that will also benefit you guys. You know, you bring me here. I really thank you for that. And now what we are doing, my project here in Islamabad today, why I'm here, overseas Pakistani, they are dual national in USA and Canada and UK.
Okay.
And other countries in Europe, they not dual national, like Spain, Italy.
Okay.
And I want to humble request to issue them dual nationality, their passports, speak to their government, so have, you know, sign up MOU or what they have to do. So Hajj last year, the reason I want to push this up, because last year Hajj in Pakistan, they cannot complete the quota.
Okay.
There was maybe 30% less.
Okay.
And this year they extend another week. That means they don't have enough application. So my reason is this, to be here in Islamabad to speak to high level to all overseas people living abroad, issue them the passport within a week, whoever wants to go to Hajj.
Right.
Okay.
So this way they go through Pakistan Hajj, Pakistani quota, they will be go to maximum level, reach into the opportunity we have. Otherwise, it's going to be shrink. So it's shrink for 1 year, then it's going to be shrink forever.
Exactly. And in addition to this, obviously this time around, everybody knows how, you know, Pakistan is doing financially. So, you know, for anybody who's actually going to make the payments in dollars, they certainly won't be a part of the, what do we call it, you know, the parchi nikalte?
Right. That
Raffle.
system, the quota
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, the raffle system as well. I would want to move on to Shiraz Bhai. Shiraz Bhai, let's discuss the legality of it. Now, imagine that majority of the people in UK, US or Canada, they do have their NICOPs, and can they apply on NICOPs for Hajj? Number one. Number two, when we talk about the people,
Right.
Pakistani people who reside within the European countries, just because they are the citizen of a European country now, they certainly cannot hold another nationality, may it be of their homeland.
So, I mean, as Shakil said, that's an opportunity for Pakistan. I mean, they are announced the sponsorship for the families who are residing here. If the government of Pakistan issue them passport on a immediately basis. So that can be, increase the one of the financial things, and the second, the opportunity as well to achieve the quota as well.
All right.
The legality is not the issue. I mean, it's the one order.
No, because what I'm very sorry, but what I am understanding from this conversation is that because, for example, if I am a resident of Italy, I cannot carry another passport, but that's something which has to do with Italy's government, not with Pakistan's government, right?
That's we are advocacy with the different countries, issuing them the dual nationality, allow them. So that's the the benefits of the both of the countries.
Okay.
It increase our financial things as well. So that's, I mean, it's not a.
So is it the Pakistani government who has got reservation on it, or is it the Italy's government, for example, in this case?
In this case, the second.
So how can Pakistani government help?
I mean, it can be bring on the advocacy. I mean, we have the MOU of the other countries as well. So it's for Europe country. It can be. I mean, our Prime Minister, our the government of Pakistan, they can advocacy
Talk
with them, and then
sign some memorandums of understanding.
Yes.
And, so
I mean,
to
it's a practice.
I think in the also matter of the fact is because there's shrinking young population in these countries, and they really need working class, especially the class that are doing the white collar jobs. So now coming to you, Shakil Saab, your organization, obviously you're talking about the labor rights, especially the Pakistanis, overseas Pakistanis who are in the Middle East or any other country. So what are some of the areas that your organization are working on, or do you feel that overseas Pakistani needs some help?
Actually, we are basically wherever the overseas are, we are there.
Okay.
And currently we are working with 22 countries. We have a complete team,
Okay.
the president and vice president and the other people. Recently I have a trip to Europe,
Right.
and we are doing a mega event in Barcelona
Wow.
next
Right.
month.
Right.
Wow.
Regarding.
Maybe it's going to be 1,000 more people coming up,
Right.
and it's going to be the same issue. The Barcelona we choose because it's middle of Europe, and everybody can travel easily
it's a
there.
good place to be at.
Yeah, thank you. And such a wonderful country, hospitality, wonderful people. The way they approach us at the airport and where they welcome us. So that is the reason we decided we will have this year mega event. We will going to do in Barcelona. And let me get back to your question. What you
Sure.
say that the dual nationality. The thing is, there used to be in the USA was the same situation.
Okay.
When I was young and I was in USA and we need to
Still
get a
look young.
visa.
Mashallah.
Now I'm old. And after that, the government have to sign MOU and they need to push this up.
Okay.
Because to having a dual nationality, it benefit Pakistan, not them.
Okay.
So actually somebody has to go, foreign minister has to go after them and make a one trip. They go just having a trip for no reason, and this is a legit trip. The minister of overseas or
Then how do you
Foreign office.
convince them of the benefits of, giving them the dual nationality? So what are your core
actually
arguments?
benefit to Pakistan, not to
Right.
them.
Yes.
They give them their citizenship, and now we have to sign MOU and we have to come up with a good idea. So this way, the both country can, and that's not in a big issue really.
Right,
That's,
right.
I don't think so. As long somebody really go with this project, and things.
Shiraz bhai wants to add over here.
Yeah.
I mean, earlier there, the practice is already, with the US and with the UK as well.
Right,
Like it's a one trip.
right.
It's putting the advocacy with the other
Right,
government,
right.
and it's happened.
Right.
We have the MOU with them. We
Right.
already signed the MOU with the different countries.
Yeah.
So same with the Italy and Spain and other countries as well.
Right.
That this practice can be,
And why are you in particular targeting these three particular countries? I mean, is there
Because it's the
Pakistani
European
diaspora?
countries which
it's the
don't
European
allow, no?
Right.
countries.
Mm-hmm.
So they have no, that's opportunity. And that why are pushing them? Because these are religious for Muslims.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to the Makkah.
Right.
So the sponsorship for it can be increased, the sponsorship as well. I mean the quota will be fulfilled. I mean the last year the quota was not fulfilled.
Right.
So this year this is opportunity. So why not the
Yeah, but just for a better understanding, so even if I reside in Italy, I can go to Makkah. That's not a problem.
No, you can go.
No.
Here you go. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, of course, you can go. The package, if you go from Italy,
Yes.
it will cost you 20,000 euro.
Wow.
Oh.
You go from Pakistan, it will cost you around
$6,000.
$8,000 to $9,000.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
True.
Second thing is this: if they go through Pakistan, they fulfill Pakistani quota.
Right.
They come here, meet their family,
Right.
spend money in Pakistan. So
Right.
end of the day, Pakistan will get benefit out of this. So that is the reason I'm pushing
That's
this thing.
wonderful. Right.
All this thing happening, Pakistan will get, they will send dollar from their home country
Right.
to Pakistan for
Pakistan.
Hajj.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're getting dollars.
True.
And second thing, our next project is this, to get a overseas driving license.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, when we need, every airport must have the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Once we arrive, you know, the license is definitely better than Pakistan, any other country. That is very tough test.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they need to go through all process all over again.
I think on this point now, let them go through that process, because over here nobody, I mean, it's hardly that anyone has gone through the process. So for the safety of the people on the road,
No, but the
let
thing
them
is
go
that,
through
let's
that.
say I've come from USA,
Yeah.
and for me to get a license, I went through a lot of hassles.
Okay.
So if I arrived here, let's say for example, so airport must have
Okay,
the
to
counter.
drive in Pakistan. Yeah.
Drive in Pakistan,
Yeah.
not over, no,
Yeah.
drive in Pakistan. All the overseas coming to Pakistan,
Right.
so they should get a driving license. This to benefit government of Pakistan. Once I get a license, I have to renew every year.
True.
The hundreds of thousands of Pakistani arrives every day.
Right.
So imagine that if 50% of that get a license at the airport, simple way, they have a departure arrival counter.
Yeah.
Right.
I get license,
Right.
then I go every year website, I have to make a payment. You know how
Right.
much money can they make?
Exactly, and in addition to this, you know what, you know, so for example, countries like, you know, United Kingdom, you know, places like United States of America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, you know, all of these countries, they have like, or Germany or European countries have a laborious testing system.
Oh, yes.
So only if they come and present their international driving license, may it be from any country, I think Pakistani government should give them their own license as well.
Right away, it should
Because
be.
they have the theoretical
मैं
test.
तो ज़्यादा ट्रस्ट करता हूँ, भांजा आता है ना बाहर से,
Yes.
गाड़ी चलाता हूँ, कहता हूँ ये ज़्यादा अच्छा
Of
ड्राइवर है।
course.
I mean, they have theoretical test and then practical test as well.
Yeah.
So that can, you know, if Pakistani coming from Pakistan and they are coming for 15 or 1 month,
Right.
so it's increased your finance as well. You know, giving them license on counter once they arrive to the airport. Give them
Exactly.
the
So
airport.
simple.
And very quickly, you know, for anybody and everybody, these days, if you're driving a car without a license, you can be
Yes.
behind the bars. Please make sure that you have a driving license
Yeah.
with you. It's of utmost importance because of this very sad incident which took place in Lahore. An underage kid was driving and unfortunately, you know, kind
He
of
rammed
ended
into,
up
yeah.
killing 6 people of the same family. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you do have a legit driving license with you. I think that's
Happened
important.
to be I drive 10 minutes before from the same area where
Really?
the accident happened.
Oh
yeah.
my God, oh
Yeah.
my God. So
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
10
you-
minutes before we passed, when I come, when back few days later,
Right.
and my brother-in-law said that that's exactly the location where the accident
Exactly.
happened.
So, you know,
Right.
and then, you know, I think that, you know, parents are responsible for this too as
Yeah.
well.
True.
Why are you
But-
giving
but-
your children cars?
Yes, and I think sometimes what happens is that especially the boys when they are, I would say, in their adolescence age or adolescent stage, so they just want to fly high, and that's a Jawani ka Josh, I would say. And without their parents' knowledge, they just take their cars away, and I think that's a sort of a very sorry state of affairs happens on the roads. But Shakil Saab, we are wrapping up our segment, so if you want to, I mean, say some message or say something to our government, so please go ahead.
Yeah, the message is this, the two things which we just discussed it. For the driving license, let's say if I come from America and I'm driving here, God forbid I get into the huge, big accident, so I will be in a huge trouble.
Yes.
Because I doesn't have Pakistani license. So my humble request today and tomorrow we're going to be going after this. We're going to see whoever we have to see to push this thing up. Departure, arrival, every airport must have the counter. And then we also need overseas counters more and more in every city. So where the overseas can go and get benefit out of it.
Exactly. So thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
Raz
much.
bhai. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Shakil
much.
bhai, and
Thank
for
you.
being with us. And thank you so much for, you know, kind of making sure always that
Thank
you're
you so
working
much.
for the rights of the overseas Pakistanis as well. It was wonderful to have you over here inside the studios. And very quickly towards the end, ladies and gentlemen, the dream only works if the team works. And, you know, we've had a wonderful inclusion of this amazing gentleman in our team,
Sure.
whom we know as Gibran. You know, Gibran is actually one of those people who on any given day can do anything for the kind of work he puts in, the kind of dedication, the kind of hard work. You know, it's written all over him that he's one of those dedicated people who's the driving force of our morning show as well. And no matter what happens, he's always there to help you. He's always there to assist you. So Gibran, you know, a very happy Hajj day to you, brother. And we'll certainly be waiting for a treat or a cake or anything which you certainly want to bring to us as well. I mean, the best part is that he's always on time, he's always delivering, and he's never complaining. May Allah be always with you, and in all these years to come, Please make sure that you progress and you move towards prosperity as much as you want. Inshallah. Ameen summa ameen.
And happy birthday to you, Gibran, once again, and may you have a very happy and prosperous life. And like Shahzad mentioned, that he's a wonderful addition to our team. He's very dedicated. He's a quieter guy. I think he is constantly observing the environment and delivering his best. And this is the best quality that I think anyone can have, especially when you are a working professional. So with that, we would like to wrap up our segment and say Allah Hafiz to you. So until next time, it's a goodbye and good morning.
Allah Hafiz.